Hey family. My name is Kee Kee Soto. I am a Zone 5B gardener living in upstate New York. Today, I'm going to be taking you around my garden and into my home to find companion plants for these cherry tomato varieties I have growing in these grow bags. Welcome to Urban Girl Gardening and Lifestyle. Please remember to like, leave a comment, subscribe if you like what you see, and share if you find this information valuable. In this video, I'll be talking to you about companion planting with tomatoes, how I care for my tomatoes, and explain to you a little bit about some of these varieties. If you like what you hear so far, please stick around. Companion planting just means planting a variety of crops together for different reasons. This is great if you have limited gardening space. You can maximize the space that you do have. Some believe planting certain crops together will add flavor and that they'll grow better. Companion planting can also be for pest control and to increase pollinator population. When it comes to companion planting with tomatoes, plants like basil, mint, and lettuce are said to improve growth and flavor of tomatoes. Flowers like nasturtiums, borage, marigolds bring beneficial insects and deter pests, as well as alliums like chives, onions, and garlic. Tap-rooted veggies like carrots, turnips, parsnips, and the beets that I am thinning out here will grow well in the shade of the tomato plant and are said to increase productivity of the tomato vines. If you are anything like me, you don't enjoy thinning your vegetables. It almost feels like you're throwing them away. You're not getting a full production of your crop. You're throwing away seeds, but at least in this case, these beets will find a new home with the cherry tomatoes. Our next companion plant is going to be green onions. These are store-bought green onions, or scallions as some call them, and we're going to be planting these with our cherry tomatoes. This one is really simple and it's a really cool hack. All you have to do is cut the bottoms off and plant them. You don't have to root them in water, and if you have problems starting onions from seed, or you really just want to make the most of your grocery buck, this is the way to go. You can stick them right in the soil, and those roots will do what roots do. Now, as far as the tops, you can chop them up and use them later, or you can throw them in a dehydrator. I'm going to crush these up and bag them up and use them to flavor some foods later on. So we have our beets that we thinned out. We have our green onion bottoms, and now we're going to go to flowers. I'm going to be companion planting with marigolds. This seed starting flat has all the flowers that I started so far, and I still have quite a few to put in their homes, but I'm getting to it. This year I'm going to be planting marigolds, but not those big ones. Those are crackerjack marigolds and they'll get way too big. I chose Irish lace marigolds. This will be a new one for me this season, but they're so cute and I figured I'll give them a try. Let's get started here with the Cascade Blue tomato. This tomato is more of a saladette size than a cherry size tomato. The color is beautiful and it was a favorite last year in my garden. It has a sweet but smoky flavor. So we're going to start by trimming the stems from the bottom of these plants. I transplanted my cherry tomato seedlings into these 5-gallon grow bags about maybe 2 weeks or a little less than 2 weeks ago. They put on some nice growth at the top, but you want to make sure to clean the bottom area. I like to clean my stems off of my tomatoes, cherry and slicer size, at least a foot to 18 inches, because you want to make sure that there's good airflow around the base of the tomato, especially if you're going to be using the area to companion plant and add other crops. Tomatoes are also very susceptible to bacteria and disease, so you want to make sure that you trim away any leaves that are already dying that look like they could be having some issues, and you don't want those leaves laying on the top of the soil or your mulch. You don't want it getting wet. You want to make sure that your plants stay as healthy as possible. So this part is pretty simple. All you do is dig a hole and stick your onion in. The roots will do what they need to do. Of course, we're going to water everything in later on, but as far as the beets are concerned, now remember, beets are a root vegetable. So when we replant these, we want to make sure that we get the entire root inside of the soil. We want those beet roots to get reacclimated as soon as possible so they can continue to grow. And I don't believe that I mentioned this before, but the variety of beets that I am planting are golden beets, which you can probably tell. And the red ones that you'll see are Chioggia beets. They have a beautiful red and white striping inside of them. So here we have it. The first grow bag of companion planting is done. I have one scallion bottom in there, 2 beets, and the marigolds. Doesn't look like much now, but give it another month and you're gonna be like, wow. Let's go ahead and do one more companion planting together. This is the yellow pear tomato, and this one actually grew as a volunteer in my compost last season from scraps that I had tossed in. So it was nice to have a little surprise, so I figured let's just grow some on purpose. So we're gonna go ahead and plant our onions. We're gonna go ahead and plant our beets. Yellow pear tomatoes are growing on me. They are delicious. They're not the sweetest, but I do like the aesthetic that it brings to salads and other dishes, and they are really, really juicy. This beet here with the red taproot, that is the Chioggia beet. Let's pop that marigold in the front and we are done. Super simple. Companion planting is a breeze. You get a chance to be creative in the garden, and also this can be super beneficial. So let's just go over a few more varieties. There's the purple bumblebee. There's tropical sunset. I'm also growing black cherry, which is a regular and a favorite. The tigrella, that one is new. You guys have already seen the yellow pear. The champagne bubbles is a big favorite of mine in the garden. And the only one that isn't up here is the orange currant. Those are actually growing in the back, and you'll see those in a future video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you found this information beneficial, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Follow me on other social media. Learn with me, grow with me. I love y'all for real. Bye.